2, 1. Breathe deep. Welcome, Spray Lock Nation, to another glorious day here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's actually raining right now while we're shooting the videos, which is why we're inside, not outside doing other work. Today, Brent,
yes,
we've kind of talked on it before, but let's just talk about shrinkage in general for concrete, if you will.
First of all, the more important question is, what studio are we in?
I don't know. He's not told us. We just walk in one day, it's a different studio. It could be, we could be a parsecs away from the other one.
Studio 224.
We've been in that one already, haven't we?
Have we?
Yeah.
Okay. So today, shrinkage.
Shrinkage.
A general concrete shrinkage conversation.
Yes, because unfortunately some people think that you place concrete, it's plastic, it stays there. It doesn't shrink any, but it actually does. And from a flooring standpoint, it does create you some issues.
Yeah, and there's a few different kinds of shrinkage. One of the most common I don't want to say mistake, but miscommunications with concrete shrinkage is that people interchange plastic shrinkage and drying shrinkage pretty often. And we've done videos on that in the past, but we're going to talk about shrinkage from a reduction standpoint today, right? And what that shrinkage reduction means and what the implications are of shrinkage reduction, being able to reduce that amount of shrinkage in concrete.
Right, I mean, but you got the timing on it. I mean, and as anybody who's actually put flooring down or looked or done certain things, we all know that all shrinkage is equal.
Yes, yes, especially if you wash your underwear in hot water instead of cold
Again,
water.
we're going with that.
Oh, well, okay.
Thought we'd done this already.
We did.
That's how you went from...
I had to reprise the joke.
No, you didn't. It was a schmedium shirt the last time. It's still schmedium this time.
All right, well, I'll just go jam with Tito Puente and you can do the video yourself.
It'd go quicker.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? All right, so why is shrinkage a concern, Josh?
From a flooring standpoint, it really comes into when you cut your joints, that slab curl.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so
that slab curl that everybody looks to. But when we start looking at shrinkage, you got your plastic shrinkage, your drying shrinkage, and people equate, quickly that if you reduce drying shrinkage, your curling is going to almost stop. And that's not necessarily what we're seeing.
Okay.
Across the board. And then you got other things that are going on, other influences besides just drying shrinkage. They link the two really, really strongly, which they should, but the other influences on that concrete as it's being placed.
Yeah, temperature variation is one of the other big culprits for curling that I'm aware of. So you have a temperature variation top to bottom. You can create some movement in those early ages as well. So how does the SCP product, what does it do when we talk about SCP products being able to reduce drying shrinkage? Right. How does that manifest itself on a job site? What does that look like?
It's going to depend on the influence we have on how quickly we get on there.
Okay.
So let's just step back a little bit. So plastic shrinkage, which is already happening and going on before we can ever step foot on it. Because literally you got to step on the concrete, so it's got to be strong enough to hold us and not cause any damage. But that time you already see plastic shrinkage cracking going on. Once we can get on it, the earlier the better. I mean, 327 is we're looking at really a 24-hour window. But if you're at the 24-hour mark versus the 2-hour mark when we get on there, you're changing the amount of that drying shrinkage reduction that can happen.
Okay.
So by getting the water and keeping it in there with our products doing, that allows that to stay in there and not get that shrinkage. So as you get those capillaries being formed and the pore solution comes out of it, that pull as they start reducing is what's pulling that in.
Okay.
When you get to the curling, that's what you're seeing. You're seeing that slab try to curl up. When you get release of that slab cut, that's when it happens. But you also look at it from the plastic shrinkage standpoint. A lot of this can be done with our products, but also proper curing.
Yes.
So you get initial curing, intermediate curing, because when that bleed water comes up, it's not maintaining where it needs to be. Humidity being low, temperatures being high, wind being, it's drying that top out. We're just pulling that concrete in.
So for initial curing information, a good place to look is the ACI 308 documents,
ACI 308,
right? Okay.
ACI 305, which is in 306, hot weather, cold weather as well. So between the three documents, you're going to get a really good overview depending on where you're at and what the environmental conditions are, the best way to work within that.
So I have to ask you, this is a question that comes up pretty often. If you're reducing drying shrinkage, does that mean my slab's not going to crack?
No,
Okay.
we can reduce, through drying shrinkage, we can help reduce the potential for cracking.
Okay.
And I know we've been very specific about how we word that. And, somebody's asked me before, like, okay, Josh, I know good and well if you're reducing drying shrinkage, then the potential for cracking is going to go down. And the best way to describe it is, because there's really not a way to quantify that, is, hey, if that area was going to get 10 cracks, you might get 8. Or you still might get the same 10 cracks, but instead of being 7 feet long, they might be 5 foot long. It's still a reduction in cracking,
Yeah.
but visually you might not realize it.
So typical drying shrinkage performance that we see with the ASTM C157 shrinkage beams is somewhere in that 40 to 60% range,
Right.
which is and that's really getting that product in there as soon as you can walk on the
early as you
concrete.
can, yes, sir.
Okay. So when you have a chance to use the product, chances are you're going to see some great improvements to your slabs. Nobody's going to tell you you're going to have 0 cracks. That's something that it exists in the lands of unicorns and rainbows. And unfortunately, water is wet, sky is blue, and concrete cracks. We know that. But if you want to maximize the chances that you've got a great job, take a look at the SCP products. See what we can do for you. We'd love for you to give us a shot on your next project.
Like, subscribe, and if you got any questions, let us know. Thank you.
Thank you. And scene. He'll leave that in.
Because you did the movement. As soon as the movement comes in, I seen him smile. I'm like, yep, that's going to stay in.